The Viscount Who Loved Me, Episode 8 of Bridgerton Season 2 starts with Anthony scooping up Kate and taking off with her, hurrying back home. She needs stitches, and Anthony calls the surgeon in to try and help. Kate's life hangs and he balances Anthony's struggles with his own emotion. A week passes and the society is in uproar as Lady Whistledown hasn't published for a while. Her silence speaks volumes, at least for those across the upper echelons of society who hang on her every word. Is she dead? Has she emigrated? Or is there more going on? Well, the answer is none of the above. Penelope is still guilt-ridden following her published work about Eloise, and she's struggling. The upcoming Featherington ball. In the wake of all this, Lady Featherington decides to set up a brand new party, imaginatively called the Featherington Ball. Pen isn't exactly happy about them joking about the ill fate befalling the Bridgerton and Sharma families, but yet again she's shunned and ignored by the others. Back at the Bridgerton household, Anthony comes storming in and confronts the family. Specifically, he mentions the finances and how Colin has taken out a large sum of money. It turns out he's done this to explore a business venture with Jack Featherington, but Anthony not happy. The weight of the world is still on his shoulders, and between Kate's health and the family affairs, he's juggling a lot. What does Eloise find with her investigation? Eloise receives a letter and once more shows up to see Theo Sharp. This time, he confirms that Whistledown has been in contact and he knows who she is. Theo apologizes to her for everything and points out that Whistledown has stopped writing. So naturally, Eloise decides they should work together and organize a coup to try and catch her in the act when Whistledown returns. For now, Theo lets slip that the manuscripts come twice a week wrapped in silks. With this in mind, Eloise heads off to interrogate Delacroix and her ties with Whistledown. Her flustered attitude only casts further suspicions for Eloise. Getting nowhere though, Eloise heads back to see Theo and realizes that her feelings are starting to grow romantically for him. She doesn't want Theo to face the consequences of her actions though, and after getting cold feet, they regrettably part ways. What happens with Benedict? Benedict too feels the same disappointment, especially when he realizes that Anthony bought his seat at the Art Academy. He feels betrayed, and he sits with Eloise that night, pointing out how he feels like an impostor. So he jokingly suggests they attend the party together as a couple of impostors. Jack Featherington makes a bold decision before Lady Featherington and decides that they should uproot and head across to the America. In doing so, he promises she could be a queen. Just as he looks set to kiss her, he pulls away at the last second and leaves, telling her to think about his words. Does Kate survive? Meanwhile, Kate awakens and she seems to be fine. However, she's disheartened upon learning Anthony hasn't bothered to come and see her in that time. When Anthony finds out Kate is alive, he breathes a shaky sigh of relief. Violet is the one to tell him, as the pair have a really touching chat about the past. Specifically, he regrets she feels that Anthony was the one to find Edmund outside. Do not lose her, real true love is hard to find, Violet urges, as tears sting Anthony's cheeks. Anthony does eventually show up to see Kate, with some flowers and a ring. However, Kate has decided to leave and head back to India, not wanting to face anything here anymore. Does Eloise learn the truth about Penelope? When he leaves, Kate and Edwina patch up their differences, deciding to attend the Featherington ball together. While there, Penelope speaks to Eloise about the various different people in attendance after learning her friend has given up the search for Lady Whistledown. Her suspicious glance seems to hint that things are going to blow up in a big way, and blow up it does. That night, Eloise breaks into Penelope's room and finds the stash of notes. Unfortunately, the whole Whistledown affair comes crashing down around Penelope. Eloise is livid and eventually decides she's never going to speak or see Pen ever again, destroying their friendship forever. What does Lady Featherington decide to do? Colin has been doing some research and realizes that Jack is a fraud and there are no gemstones. He eventually calls out Jack, forcing him to leave town immediately. Jack decides to accelerate his plans with Lady Featherington, convincing her to leave in the morning and let their children come in the future. He even kisses Lady Featherington, leaving her a big decision to make. Lady Featherington eventually decides to do the right thing and stands by her daughters, sending Jack away to America. What happens at the ball? Meanwhile, Edwina and Kate arrive at the party, and after dancing together, the former convinces her sister to open up and be the feeling, caring woman she knows she can be. And part of that comes from asking Anthony to dance. Kate and Anthony then dance in front of everyone, with all eyes on them, as they stare longingly at one another. The Queen stands up for Kate and Anthony together, claiming it's not a scandal and forcing public opinion to change. For Edwina, she promises her a prince, much to Cressida's annoyance. While Colin scoffs at the idea of courting Penelope, which she hears and runs away, sobbing, Benedict confronts Anthony about his donation and has decided to drop out of Art Academy. How does Bridgerton Season 2 end? As fireworks explode overhead, Kate and Anthony discuss their future and eventually end up kissing under the stars. Back inside though, Penelope picks up her pen once more and decides to embrace being Lady Whistledown once more, returning to her usual self. As the episode closes out, Kate and Anthony end up kissing again, this time just before playing a game of croquet. Bridgerton bows out with a conclusive final chapter, one that wraps up almost all the big plot points, while also leaving everything open for a follow-up on the horizon. The show has been slightly overlong, which is something a lot of Shondaland productions are plagued with. Honestly, did we need all those episodes of Inventing Anna? But it's undoubtedly been enjoyable to watch. The romance between Anthony and Kate is actually felt stronger and with more chemistry than Daphne and Simon, at least from this reviewer anyway. Everything has flown nicely, and although the final episode does manage to tie everything up, it also leaves the drama involving Whistledown suitably open and a new romance on the horizon for Season 3. However, the showrunner is stepping down after this season, so we could see the tone and direction of the show alter slightly. There have been some subplots this year that really haven't worked. The whole Gentleman's Club and Will Monrich have felt like an afterthought, hence their exclusion from most of these recaps, while Benedict's art school ventures never really go anywhere, beyond that big reveal at the end of course. Not only that, there's also the subject of Eloise who's all happy smiles and playing croquet at the end. Personally, it would have been nice to see her exchange a horrible look at Penelope or something to hint toward their rivalry for the next season. Either way though, Bridgerton is bound to entertain fans, and there's certainly enough here to enjoy.